The Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm's Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny goes down after just 4 days at the box office to newcomer The Sound of Freedom, starring Jim Caviezel from Angel Studios, an upstart that has no business taking on a $300+ million production blockbuster from the Walt Disney Company, but it did nonetheless. Domestic box office currently stands at Indiana Jones $83.8 million. That would have been even a terrible opening 3-day weekend for this film, but this is what it's made after 5 days. But don't worry, the story actually gets worse. Because on Tuesday, after just 4 days in the box office, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny went down to The Sound of Freedom from Angel Studios, an independent studio with a very small budget film that racked in $14+ million on its opening day, and Indiana Jones pulled in 11.69. But what's truly embarrassing is that happened with Indiana Jones in 4,600 screens across the U.S. and Canada, and only 2,600 screens or so for The Sound of Freedom. That's right, if you look at the per-theater averages there, $2,543 per theater average on the day, on Tuesday, July 4th, for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and $5,400 for The Sound of Freedom per average screen for that day as well. So The Sound of Freedom didn't just beat Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny on Tuesday by $3 million or so. It actually beat it nearly 2-to-1 when you consider how many screens The Sound of Freedom had available to it compared to Indiana Jones. 2,500 versus 4,600. These kind of numbers shouldn't happen, not after 4 days of a major tentpole blockbuster from the Walt Disney Company. There should have been no chance that Indiana Jones would have been knocked off the top of the mountain until Tom Cruise shows up next Wednesday with Mission Impossible 7: Dead Reckoning Part 1. But yet, it happened nonetheless, and that's where we are. Now, even in places like Variety magazine, the excuse-making seems to be getting a little thin. This from just yesterday, Disney's harsh new reality, costly film flops, creative struggles, and a shrinking global box office.